Welcome to Miller's Monsters. I'm Mr. Beelzebub. You just know. This is Count Luna. Back there is Edgar P. the Scully with his head chopped off because I got to make sure the star is in the picture for these coming on out. And, well, here's your star. Count Luna is the star, and I wanted to make sure you got a really nice view of her on this video because I'm also sporting my Count Luna t-shirt. But anyways, back to business. This is true events that inspired horror movies, and today's movie is Winchester from 2018. It starred Helen Mirren, and it chronicles Sarah Winchester, who was an inheritance to the Winchester fortune, at least a part of it, which equaled back to about $20 million. And this is back in the day, in the early 1900s. And she moved west and bought an 8-room farmhouse and started building and never stopped building. Over 30 years of building until she passed away until she passed away, and then the building suddenly stopped. And what the movie synopsis is this story, okay, of how, she ended up going out west, bought the house, how she continually built it, and the legend is that she built it to trap ghosts in because she was being haunted by everyone that was killed with a Winchester gun. And so she built this house, and the house ended up with hundreds of rooms, staircases leading to nowhere, and secret passages. And I'll get more into the detail of the house near the end or the middle. You never know with me. And she would sleep in a different room every night, and the house was a maze, so she can take different routes so the ghosts couldn't catch her. And she had nightly seances there. And the premise of the story is there's a vengeful ghost of one of the people killed with the Winchester rifle that they made their money on, or blood money, so to speak, and it was trying to kill Sarah. And so the movie chronicles that battle with the ghost. I will say I've never seen the movie. I will go out and watch it, but it was done on a budget of $3.5 million. It made $44 million. It was a success financially, but critically, not so much. It scored very poorly, on Rotten Tomatoes, below 20, I believe, below 3 on IMDb, and the critics were lukewarm to it at best. And it was nominated for many Razzies, including Helen Mirren, who got a Worst Actress Razzie, but she's a wonderful actress, so it was just a bad movie that they said, like, much of the staircases went nowhere. So that's a short history on the movie, but now let's talk about the true events and the Winchester Mystery House and Sarah Winchester in real life. But before we get to that, let's take a minute and we'll take a little deep breath, and we'll give you time to hit that like button, ring the bell, hit the subscribe button, set yourself up for notifications so you don't miss another episode, and please share with your friends. It's good to share. I hope it's good to share these videos with you, and maybe you share them with friends you don't like and it gets rid of them. So either way, good or bad, share, ask them to like and subscribe as well. And as always, I thank you in advance. So, the real life Sarah Winchester, that part about it is true. She inherited the Winchester automatic rifle, the rifle that won the west. Gotta stop drinking before these things. Just kidding. And but it was under unfortunate circumstances. She had lost her 6-week-old daughter to disease or birth defect, and she had lost her husband to tuberculosis, and that's how she inherited the money. And legend goes, and again, there's not a lot of this that you can say definitely happened, so you know, a lot of it is legend, and whether you believe it or not is up to you. But the legend goes is that she went to a medium who they had a name and can't find a name anywhere as being a listed medium, and he told her, you're being haunted or cursed by the people that have died by the Winchester rifle, and they killed your daughter, they killed your husband, and they're coming to get you next. And so go west and build a house and keep construction going, continuous construction, and as long as you're building, you know, they won't be able to take your life. So she moved west. Again, there's, you know, it could have been she moved west because she was starting to suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, and you know how painful that is. And you go to drier, warmer climate. Okay, hopefully it makes you feel better. That was the prevailing therapy for that back in the day. Go west, get into a drier, warmer climate. So whether it was because of the seance or because of rheumatoid arthritis, she went west and she bought an 8-room farmhouse. And construction started almost immediately. You know, again, she was told, continue to construct on this house. As long as you're building, you won't be overtaken by the vengeful spirits. And whether it's for that or that she wanted to keep occupied, she had the money to do it. Okay, she was a bit of a kept to herself. Okay, at the later point, she had her niece living with her, and it was rumored that you know, once she started building, that she built a seance room and would have seances there every night. Again, that can't be collaborated. From what I read, if you asked the workers, she never did any of that stuff, and it was the gardener's room at one point. But she continued to build, and this is a Victorian building, a Gothic building. The thing about this building was it wasn't just one design. It seemed to be whatever came to Sarah's mind, and apparently she had a knack for it, because there's a lot of ahead of its time construction in there. There were elevators in there, hydraulic elevators, things of that sort. You know, the glass windows and indoor plumbing for that early, you know, in the 1900s. And one of the reasons theorized that it might be is she liked to go to state fairs or world fairs, whatever they had back in the time, or both. And of course, at these fairs, one part of the fair was always things of the future, you know, this is going to change your life, things like that. And that may be where she got her inspiration, because it is true that she was in charge of about 28 carpenters and workers, and she did the designs. No real blueprints. She would just draw them up on pieces of paper, and they would go out and build. And if she really didn't like something, that's it, done with that, we're going to build around it and start on another structure. So did it occupy her? Did it keep her from thinking about her lost child, her lost husband, and she just sank herself into the construction of this house? Again, she had the money to do so. She didn't have to worry about that. So You know, hey, you're not hurting nobody, not a bad thing to do, right? And so this continued on. And when she died, work suddenly stopped. The workers didn't want to work anymore, and they just picked up and left. Now, the Winchester Mystery House still exists, and I went on the website and took a look at it, and I'm going to take a pause here, and I'm going to grab some paperwork and go over some of the things I found on their website. Welcome back. And okay, so I pulled some of the, I looked at the media kit on the site, and I pulled some facts about it for you. The house itself, remember, this was an 8-room house when it started. It was up to 160 rooms, 24,000 square feet, and 40 bedrooms. Had 40 staircases, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, 1,000 window panes, and 2,000 doors. Like I said, a lot. Windows had no access to light, just there. Doors were just there. You open up, there's a wall. What are you gonna do? 52 skylights. Sometimes they were a skylight and a skylight on top of that. Again, just a skylight there. There was rooms with no ceiling, rooms with no floors. 47 fireplaces. We talked about the 3 elevators, 2 basements, and 1 shower. Apparently, there wasn't much use for showers back then. I'm hoping that was in the main room. Okay, there are 376 total steps and 40 staircases, and one of the things that people brought up as an odyssey there is that there's this one spiral staircase that only goes up about 7 feet, 9 feet, but has 42 steps in it. Well, you know, they try and make, everybody's a numerologist and trying to make sense of numbers. Really, it comes down to is she had rheumatoid arthritis, and it was easier to walk up the smaller steps, and that's why the steps in there were the way they were. And also, Harry Houdini did visit the house, and as you know, and I've been made aware of, that Harry Houdini was a skeptic of psychics, and he had a mission to find them to be fakes, and you know, so they wouldn't take poor people's money or grieving people's money, which is honorable. And he went to the house, and he said it certainly is a house of mystery. Now, that doesn't mean paranormal history. Okay, this house is an oddity. All right, it certainly is a fantastic thing to see, and I would go see it if I lived in California. And just to see the different architecture and what was done. A lot of it is said to be done after she had died, like in the movie number 13 comes up all the time. And you know, people that had worked there, and tour guides have said that a lot of that was added to add to the supernatural part of the house. But anyways, Harry Houdini was there. He deemed it a house of mystery. Not probably, I would say because of the oddity of the house, not because of the paranormal of the house. And he suggested they use House of Mystery as a tagline to promote the house. But he really made no distinction on the supernatural side because he was in a rush and really couldn't do a full investigation into it. And while we're doing investigations, this thing's been on almost every channel that you can think of. Paranormal Activity, Caught on Camera, I think it was. I've watched most of those. I don't remember ever seeing anything in this house on it. You know, U.S. Ghost Adventures, things of that sort. Some have just been ambiguous. Some have said no, there's no paranormal activity. There is, there isn't. Who knows? You know, the truth is somewhere in the middle. So. And also going through here, there's a section in here that tells of all the paranormal things that have happened. You know, shadows in second-story windows, people feeling like they're watched, cold spots in the house, hearing footsteps, hearing talking. Everything I read, though, was by staff, okay? And that's current staff. And the interesting about this house is 5 months, it was purchased because it was thought to be worthless, and a couple came in and purchased it, and 5 months later they started tours, okay? And what they did is they had paid tours and they pushed the paranormal side of things, okay? And it kind of left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because they were making money pushing the paranormal, that she was insane or things like that. And really, she helped the community and things to that nature, but she was a recluse. She stayed to herself most of the time and had this crazy house that she was building. So, oftentimes when I'm reading about these urban legends, and a lot of times with these other ones are made to scare children, to get children to behave. Those are usually in the older days. And then there's some that are to explain strange happenings. So that build up around, okay, there's something strange. How do we, explain it? The tuberculosis outbreak that was thought to be a vampire apocalypse. There's a graveyard I'll be going to soon where lightning has struck it 2 or 3 times, and is it because there's a witch buried there, or is it because lightning struck it 3 times and somebody had to try and explain it? And then these things grab a leg on their own. And I think this is more of a lines what's happening here at the Winchester Mystery House. But you can still take tours there today, and I have their brochure right here. I read their brochure, and it more touts the beauty of the house and the oddity of the house, and from the pictures I've seen, and that you were probably looking at throughout this, it is a beautiful house. Like I said, it's a wonder. It would be a wonder to see, just because of all the different architect styles in it. And it's in the Guinness Book of World Records for most continuous build. I think it was 32 years. The exact number escapes me right now. And during its lifetime, it was owned by the first persons that bought it and used it as a tour spot. It's in Ripley's, believe it or not. Okay, he used it in his collection, and it was bought and run until 1996. I don't forget the year it was bought, but he stopped working with it in 1996 and managed by an old roller coaster, builder. So I think there's a lot of entertainment value in this house. Whether it's paranormal activity or not, I'll leave that up to you. I prefer to believe that there may be some there. I think she's gotten a bad rap because she was odd and went about these things. But listen, that's when we talk about urban legends and stories and all that, is there's the truth, there's skeptics, and then something in the middle. Okay? And I choose to be somewhere in the middle on this one, because it's so much fun. It is so much fun to read these things, and this is a fascinating story. So, but I don't think badly of Sarah Winchester. I think she was a bit misunderstood. So, if you liked what you saw, ring the bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, set yourself up for notifications as we do this every Saturday, God, drew blank there, and Tuesday. You get a movie review, and then you get something like this, and 2 shorts every day. And tell your friends to like and subscribe. I thank you in advance, and I will talk to you later.